Going to do some pickled eggs. So put your eggs in the water gently so not to crack them. Bring the water back to the boil, 15 minutes, then turn it off. Give it about 5 minutes. Eggs are bubbling away nicely there in the background. So we're going to use just ordinary white vinegar for pickling the eggs. Whatever jars you use for pickling, make sure that you wash them out really well. It's good soapy water. And then while they're still wet, pop them in the oven, and that's at 120 on a fan oven for 10 minutes. I'm only doing a few eggs today. The pickling jars can fit into the air fryer, so they're going into the air fryer, but in the air fryer they'll go in for around about 8 minutes at about 105, and they'll be sterile. Don't forget to put the lids in. They're ready now. Those are turned off and they can now go up under the cold water tap. Put the lid on just gently, put the water away. Tip the water away, add a little bit in the bottom, put the lid back on, hold it, just gently. Whiz the eggs around, it cracks and breaks the shell, so it's much easier to peel them off. And just let them sit to cool down for about 5 minutes. They don't need to be cold because obviously you're going to put them into hot vinegar. Once you've swirled the eggs around, the shells should be pretty much cracked. It just makes them easier to peel off. Oops. Obviously not that one. Once you've swirled the eggs around, the shell should come off pretty easily. Not always. I've left these go a little bit cold actually. They do come off and they're quite warm. things can all go off into the compost. Work out the size of your jars. If there's not a fluid size on the side of the jar, fill them up with water, empty it into a measuring jug, and you'll get the quantity. So work out roughly about how much space your eggs are going to take up, and from there work out the volume of vinegar that you're going to need. There's no point overdoing the vinegar because it'll just go to waste. So we're doing about 800 ml for the 2 jars that I've got for these eggs. We'll bring that to a boil and then quickly drop it down to a simmer. You don't want to boil vinegar because you'll end up losing the waters from the vinegar, but you'll also end up losing the tartness from the vinegar. So the idea of boiling the vinegar, you don't have to if you're not adding any herbs or spices or peppers or salts or sugars or anything, but it does help obviously with sterilisation, etc., even though vinegar is sterile. But definitely bring it to a boil and simmer it for about 10 minutes if you're adding any herbs or spices, any salts or any sugars. But here I'll only ever add peppers or spices. I never add salts or sugars during pickling. The products are fine without it, and it's more healthy without it. Salt's bad for you, sugar's bad for you. So there we go, I'll bring that to a boil now. Jars are ready. You can let them cool down a little bit. You don't want to be burning your fingers. Remember, these are glass and they're very hot. Really? So the vinegar's ready. So the spoon is sterilised, and just sterilise the tongues again. Put the eggs in the jar. Probably done a couple more, and as it happens, one more in there, one more in there. There we go. You can use malt vinegar or anything. Put herbs, spices in, flavours, anything you like really. There we go. Up to the top, make sure the eggs are covered. chemicals. But that's fine, we can use that later. We'll do another small jar. There we go. Make sure the lids are on nice and tight. As everything cools down, you should get a tight lid. You'll probably hear it click actually if you're around. There we go. So we'll just leave those now to cool in the air. And you could put them in the fridge if you wanted to. Just put them somewhere out of the way where they're cool. Once they're open, eat within 2 or 3 days and keep them in the fridge. So these will be ready now. Pickled eggs are quick. Pickled eggs, you can start eating them. Leave them 2 or 3 days and then you can start eating them if you want to. So there we go, that's your pickled egg.